Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
All right. Welcome to the public portion of the general staff meeting for the Minecraft Rapid Trans server. This is July 22nd, 2018. Switch to Minecraft here. Hello. So we had a pretty long GSM for the private portion. This one was very heavily rules. There were a lot of discussions around rules, and also there were 4 premier city reviews as well toward the end. Thankfully, no roads, which is amazing and fantastic.
Probably you should.
Oh, I should unvanish. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Let's do that. Hi. There we go. Okay, so I'm gonna go straight into the announcements here. First up, regarding we've had some discussion about the whole town batch or the city rank batch system that we've had, and there are basically I'll just try to break it down. There are 2 problems that we're trying to solve here. The first one is some players have brought legitimate complaints about how long it takes for them to receive feedback about their city when they submit their city for like senator or governor. They have to wait until the batch is over in order to do that. And the other problem is we have some issues with staff not being prompt in voting in these batches, and we're going to be looking at some solutions for that. Well, for the first problem, I'm going to announce that the next batch, the August. So this batch right now, we're in the July batch. I think it's number 26, I believe. Just double check. 27.
27.
So number 27 will complete at the end of this month, and then there's someone in Twitch chat I need to go ban. Hold on. There we go. Okay. Never mind. Sorry about that. Okay. So in what was I going to say here? Damn it. Yeah. So So batch number 27 is going to be the last. Sorry. Batch 27 is going to complete this month. Then batch 28 will be the August one. That'll be the last batch, or monthly batch. After that point, we're going to go to a different system where when you submit, as soon as you submit your city into for consideration for senator or governor, I'm not sure about premier. Those I think will still be done at the GSM, I believe. But at least for senator and governor, those will be basically a deadline will be set starting from submission. So 2 weeks after your submission date, you will be the voting will be open to all staff, and by the end of those 2 weeks, you will be given your feedback and whether or not you've been promoted to senator or governor. The reason why we're not doing this immediately is it's going to take some time. Gods has volunteered to go set up this system. It will include some automation on our back end to help us organize this sort of thing. So yeah. Another thing I'll mention is after you've submitted your town and after you've received the feedback, after those 2 weeks, you will not be allowed to resubmit your town for an additional 2 weeks after that. So basically, the next time you'd be able to submit from your last submission would be 4 weeks in total. So that is what we're going. This again, all of these guidelines are subject to change. This is kind of a pilot that we're going to just try out and experiment. But we hope that this will at least solve the first problem, where people will be able to get feedback a lot quicker than having to wait for the batch. Now, in terms of the second problem, we did look at a few different solutions. The one that we are probably going to try out is actually I did actually ask the staff in the meeting this question, which is, what's the part of voting that takes up the most time, or is the part that is most difficult for you? And I asked, what is it, the part where you're looking around the town, or is it the whole write-up of the review that you write in the feedback for that town? And most of the staff did say that it was the write-up. So what we're going to try to do is probably make some sort of checklist system, or like a scoring system for different qualities of a city. This can include things like build count, the quality of builds, terraforming, whether there are any land scars. Basically, we notice that there's a lot of common problems that we notice in a lot of cities, like land scars, or lack of builds, or lack of interior decorations, that sort of stuff. So instead of having all the staff just repeatedly say that in the feedback document, which is not very useful for the player, we're going to try to make up some sort of scoring system for each different categories. And if any of the staff need to make any additional comments about the scoring, or if there's any disagreements among staff, then that'll be discussed within the document as well. So again, the scoring system is very basic. We're probably going to start with a 0 to like a out of 10 sort of system, just so people know that it's at least they have at least a numerical indicator of what they need to improve on. But again, staff, if there's anything outside of those categories, the staff will add additional comments for your city, since every city is different, when that's needed. So. And of course, this is all an experiment, so we might change things as they go on. But yeah, we're gonna try it out and see what happens. So once again, this system will only come in place after the August batch. So there'll be one more batch after this one, and then when September comes around, we will start. Hopefully, if this system is up and running, we'll start using that. Okay, so next up, okay, so I will reveal what 1B was it was redacted in the public portion. This was a discussion about the United Cities, the recent events that have happened there. I'm gonna try to summarize this a bit. There were some discussions about how the situation was dealt with, and the whole resolution that called for the dissolution of the UC, which looking back at it, I do not think was the best choice of action during that situation. I think other options, such as encouraging people to leave the UC or reforming the UC, would have been probably better, or at the very least, I do think that a lot of people in the UC were quite surprised by this resolution, and it caused a lot of chaos and drama that I don't think was particularly necessary. So, but that happened, so we're gonna have to move forward from that. I will say, I'm just trying to look at the comments here. I will say I'm going to make an official statement about the UC. I am going to pretty much, I am not going to shut down the UC by decree, as it is clear that there is a definite split. There are people who want the UC to continue, and even more so continue as it is, while there are other people who don't really see the point of the UC or think that it has had a negative influence on the server. I will say, though, that it's the UC's status as the de facto MPO, essentially the only MPO on the server, is going to come to an end going from now on. I am strongly encouraging people to even just leave the UC and go form their own MPOs from this point. The next topic I will be discussing about MPO rules. I'll get to that in a sec. But I'm essentially denouncing the UC at this point. it can continue to exist as an MPO, but it is not. It should not be considered the only MPO on the server, and that is that.
You have another Mercury
I love
on
banning
stream,
people.
by the way.
Oh, I think
yes.
LD's.
It's one of his
Is that on the record,
Sorry,
sir?
what was that?
Will that be? Is that on
what
the record?
Sorry.
I was trying to make a funny about that. Never mind.
That you love
okay.
banning people.
No, LD is one of the moderators on my Twitch channel, and he is handling it right now. Thanks, LD. Okay. All right. So, sorry, I'm not following anybody talking in Twitch chat. I think there are some actual discussions happening there, but I'm sorry, I'm busy going over announcements right now, so I'll get to that later. So, I was talking about MPO rules. I will state them right now, but I think I did show a preview of that earlier. So I'm just going to read them out. This is my proposal, which is now going to come into effect now. So basically this proposal just provides a guideline, so just some rules around what is expected of MPOs and what is allowed. It is subject to change for later, but it's at least for an initial. I'm intending this to be an initial framework for any new MPOs that start getting formed, and this will also apply to the UC going forward as well. So, this first off, MPOs may be regional, based within a specific region on the map, or they can be an at-large MPO, which means that they accept membership from any member of the server. The second point, mergers of any MPOs must approved by staff at general staff meetings. This point is here because we do want to prevent any overly large MPOs from forming, like the UC. It's not necessary that the problem is that they're so large. I just want to make sure that no, if suddenly all the MPOs suddenly decide to want to merge into one, I would probably veto that and put a stop to that, because I do want to make sure that people do have a choice in choosing different kinds of MPOs or different organizations, and also forming their own MPOs. And yeah, that's what I'm trying to go for here. The third point, all MPOs are subject to the MRT rules. This includes any Discord servers, wiki pages, and other means of official communication hosted by the MPO. This does technically also fall under any sort of private communication, say on Discord, for example, which we have historically, MRT staff has historically stepped in, especially if one player is harassing another. So there's that. Fourth point, MRT staff will not actively monitor each and every MPO. This point is, realistically, it's not really possible for us to monitor this. We already had enough trouble with the UC. We're definitely not going to be able to do it with multiple MPOs. So I just want to make that very clear to everyone. However, and this goes to my fifth point, all players, including MPO members and the MPO leadership, are strongly encouraged to report any possible rule infractions that are occurring in the MPO to the MRT staff. And I'm going to go as far as to say, even if it's something minor or something you're not sure of, I do encourage any members of MPOs to report it. If it turns out it's not really a big deal, or could be solved by other means, MRT staff will let you know. But I would encourage you to, if you're in doubt, any sort of doubt, please do report it to the MRT staff. And the final point I'd like to make, and this has been a little bit adjusted after some discussion with staff, if an MPO has been discovered to be suppressing players from reporting rule infractions to the MRT staff, or trying to cover up or hide behavior that violates the rules, the leadership of the MPO and possibly any other members of that MPO may be severely punished. In extreme cases, the MPO may be completely dissolved by decree from the MRT staff. Oh, another ban, another day. Okay, so that is that. I'll have the full text on this on the GSM results, so you know all the details there. But those are the pretty much the 6 main points of this proposal. These are the new MPO rules that are now in effect from this point forward. So that is that. If you have any questions about this proposal, please leave a question. Please ask your question. Sorry, at the open floor and Q&A at the end of this public portion. Moving on to section 1D. Oh, to be clear, staff, we did say we would reveal parts of this. Staff, hello? Yeah,
I'm pretty sure we
Okay.
did parts of it.
So this topic is regarding, this was brought up by Minecraft Yoshi. We're concerned about people going on the old world and completely redoing some buildings, particularly things like airports. We do want to allow people to continue making small, minor changes to their buildings in the old world, specifically about like if you want to change airlines or change airplanes or change check-in areas, that sort of stuff. So those will still be allowed. However, going forward, we're gonna institute a new rule here, and that is any blatant destruction of any existing buildings on the old world will be explicitly disallowed. So no blowing up, like, because again, the old world has a lot of historical value and nostalgia, and we do not want to destroy any of those buildings. And this applies to any building on the old world. So not just airports, but any building. There is a bit of a gray area, and this is the part that the staff were not actually able to agree upon, but we will defer this to probably a future GSM. There are some projects that some players want to do when it comes to renovating an airport, like redoing an airport, or completing an incomplete project, for example. And where to draw the line for this, or what to allow for this, we are not able to come to a decision on that quite yet. So we will be discussing that later. But again, for now, any minor changes that you want to do to your airports or your buildings are okay. Any blatant destruction of or blatant redoing of a building, I should also add, will not be allowed. So. Moving on to 1E. This is a topic brought up by Gods, and also Yoshi did contribute to this one. We are considering allowing members to propose new arenas to be added to the PvP plugin, in addition to the 12 original PvP arenas that Yoshi built in the old world. How this is going to work is, just make sure we're, oh yeah, I'm recording here. What I'm basically going to suggest is there's going to be a committee of ad mods. At the moment, that committee consists of Gods, Mindman, JPH, and Robin. Yoshi, why aren't you on this committee?
I'm not going to explain that. I don't have time for that.
Okay,
Just keep going.
I'll talk to you later about that. But yeah, basically, I'm going to leave it to them to make a lot of most of the decisions around this. Some decisions I think we will make is probably the naming of the arenas. I would even go as far, like, I think we're probably not gonna stick with the numbering system. The original 12 arenas will probably still stay the same, but any new arenas will probably need a specific word or phrase to describe that arena, so people actually know what's there. And also, all new arenas will definitely be on the games world. Whether or not those will be in one specific area on the games world or anywhere on the games world, that is yet to be determined. So the committee will discuss that, and I'll leave it to them to discuss that outside the GSM. And I would expect maybe an update from them at the next GSM in August. Next up, 1F, staff specialization. After some discussion, we decided that the point of these titles is to give recognition for players like Yoshi, who spend a lot of time creating official server events, and also making sure that people understand that these people may not have time to do world edits and other sort of tasks. So the 2 players that we have chosen for this time will be Yoshi, of course. He'll be considered an event coordinator going forward. And the other person will be Gods'll because Gods has been instrumental in organizing all of the city rank batches. He does collate all the information that's submitted and ensures that they run every month. He's been running this for probably the last year or so, and doing a lot better job than I have because I'm a lazy bum. So those 2 players will be given official specializations on the staff. There may be other staff that might have added titles, but those are the 2 that stick out at the moment. I do want to stress again, if I hear complaints about people about Yoshi or Gods that they're not doing enough from World Edit, I will point to these specializations first and tell them this, that they do have other responsibilities on the server. So. Okay, moving on. I'm going to skip 1G, but I will say that I'm not going to go into too much detail about it, but I will say that it has been denied. I think revealing this one might... Actually, no, I think I can't say... Actually, I will say information about this. This is a proposal from LD regarding... He basically wants to add some sort of gambling establishment on the server with using in-game money. This would be a sort of a betting system on things like the Amazing Race. You could bet on contestants there, or other events and sporting events. And this proposal has been denied with several concerns from staff. One of them is concerning about exposing children to gambling. This counter argument to this is we do have a lottery plugin, but the lottery plugin is at the very least automatic and very limited. And there are some concerns about this sort of betting could be taken to a much more extreme level. There's also some concern that some contestants within these events, like the Amazing Race or sporting events, could deliberately throw events, or just so they can, because they have they've actually betted into these they've actually made bets themselves, or they've used a third party to make the bets on their behalf. This sort of thing does happen in the real world quite a bit. And also there's some concerns about that these bets could, if people are betting for certain people, this could be taken personally by the participants in that sporting event. Like, for example, if one person gets a whole bunch of bets for them and not the other. It's really set a good precedent on the server. Based on these arguments, this proposal has been denied. I do not think that we will not be considering any sort of gambling establishment or rules around this for the foreseeable future. Next up, 1H regarding the Minecraft 1.13 update. I'll just say a few things here. This update is going to be very bad. It is one of the worst updates I've ever seen. It's going to break a whole bunch of things. I did post in general Discord chat earlier today that there is now a Spigot development build available. However, they put in, it is a development build. It is not ready for live servers because they state that there are severe bugs in the build that can cause irreparable damage to a server world, and that is definitely not something we want. So we're going to have to wait quite a while for them to fix all those bugs, and even then, even if they fix the bugs they know, there could be bugs that they have not discovered yet. So that's the nature of trying to find these sort of things. So and then even that plugins and other things would have to be updated as well. So do not expect us to update to 1.13. Probably, I would even go as far as to say probably not even this year. Perhaps even probably next year, considering how much turmoil this update's going to have. Plus, there's going to be probably a 1.13.1 or .2 that's probably going to come in the next couple months or so. So, yeah. I'll also note Robin did propose. Oh, I should also, yeah. Robin did propose easy carts, but that was removed from the GSM because of the recent update. We're not going to be considering any new plugins for the foreseeable future. That also does include fast async world edit, which we have been testing on beta. However, from further testing, it does not seem to. We've not been able to make it run without crashing the server or causing memory issues on the server. So we will not be installing fast async world edit anytime soon. Okay, moving on. Section 2 roads. There are no roads, no proposals. I really like this. If you guys could just stop submitting road proposals for the foreseeable future, I'd be very happy. Thank you. Next up, Section 3A. Burn Cow has requested that the Disney Boardwalk project to be removed. So we did not consider it during the GSM, so we're going to skip that one. 3B is regarding a pattern park thing in the lab world by Lullaboy. I've told Lullaboy, I've not been able to contact him personally, but I don't think this was actually supposed to be in the GSM. So I'm just going to go talk to Lala about this project. 3C is some sports league prizes for the MLS, the Major League Spleef, and the Sumatori League. The prize amounts, I think I'll go announce those. They're not in the minutes, unfortunately. Sure, go for it.
Can I announce them since I'm here? So the champions of both the Major League Spleef and the United Sumotori League will each receive $1,000, and the runners-up in both leagues will receive $500.
Cool.
Okay, so that's that.
Okay.
Okay, moving on to 3D. We have a proposal from Skelly Zomperman for a World's Expo in Central City. Considering the status of the United Cities at this time, and also we have some questions from Skelly of whether or not this is an open community build that anyone can build in, or if this is something that's more planned. It was not specific in the proposal. So at this time, this proposal will be denied at the moment. We will go ask Skelly for this clarification. I would also perhaps encourage Skelly to maybe consider using an existing convention center. There is one that is existing in Central City, but I believe that's owned by Mustang Guy. There's also the Avella Expo. There's other convention centers around the server. So I would ask that he would consider putting the expo in those places instead of having to build a brand new facility in Central City. Moving on to finally to 3E for the Skyjumper Talons golfing tournament. This is the second season of this. This has been approved. However, Talon will have to keep asking for additional funding for each event. He did propose perhaps giving him a whole lump sum for the whole season, but we're not entirely comfortable as staff to give such a large amount to him. All right, let's move on here. I'm just gonna scroll down. There's a lot of. Why are there so many people in chat? Why are there people in Twitch chat? Weird. We're getting raided. Why are they what? Okay, hi stream. Unfortunately, you're not going to get this is not really interesting content for you guys because this is mainly for my Minecraft server. So I'm just giving announcements for people on my Minecraft server. So, I mean, feel free to stick around, but I mean, I don't know. Thanks for showing up here. I feel like these are. I don't even know. I'm just gonna ignore them for now. Moving on to section 4. We have a proposal from Time to Make My Move regarding the ownership of the Intercontinental Hotel Group. There were sort of some questions about the original ownership of this franchise, and I can say with certainty, basically, just to give you guys a timeline, the hotel group was originally owned by Kiwi Rainbow and H&T. However, H&T has left the server and is now moving on, or has given at least his share of the franchise away to Captain Chimpy and Camel Fantasy. And so technically this is owned by 3 people. Kiwi Rainbow has actually been inactive for pretty much a year by this point. So given the rules, and also that Captain and Camel have approved this transfer, this transfer to Time to Make My Move has been approved. We will note to Time that if you are going to rebrand any of the existing hotels of this group, please do let the town mayors know before you make any changes to make sure that they're okay with this. Otherwise, it could be construed as griefing. So please contact your town mayors first. Okay, next up, 4B. Also, by Time to Make My Move, he would like the ownership of Phoenix Valley, which I believe, let me see if I can, that is near Whiteley. AP has no problem with this. There's no other issues with this, so this has also been approved. Next up is Tar Heel Coos, who would like ownership of Pelham M19. Tar actually proposed this back in February, or actually no, last July? August 2017. There it is. I need to read the minutes. So he proposed this actually almost a year ago, and it was approved back then, but Tar did go inactive. It was approved, I'll reiterate. It was approved pending on approval from Mishkaman, who is still somewhere on the server and is still somewhat active. So for Tar, we're just going to say, yeah, this has been approved again. But Tar, you do need to go ask Mishkaman to see if he's okay with this before taking over that city. So please go ask him first. And finally, the last auction here is from Aldranster50. He has requested the ownership of V21. This has been approved. We would have liked to see Aldranster build a bit more than what he's had, but considering that no one else is vying for that station, that'll be approved for you. Finally, on to section 5. Wow, this Twitch raid is... I don't feel like these are real people. It seems like a bunch of bots, but I'm not sure.
I'm fairly sure they're not.
Well, So
And
moving
elaborate.
on to section 5, we looked at four premier candidates. First up was Espil by SBDev. Second one was Radiant Square by Mindbender15. Third one was Lecleed by JPH, and fourth one was Venceslo by Time to Make My Move. Feedback for this, for all these, will be made available shortly. But I'm pleased to announce that one of these cities will become premier, and that is Lecleed by JPH.
Oh yeah, that means I get
Yes,
to make a speech.
you have
don't
to
I?
make a speech now.
Okay, do I do it from the boat or do I get to? You know what? I'll just drive my boat up in front here. Let's see, I have it somewhere. Nope, that's not it. Well, I just wanted to say thank you for all those staff and my friends who have been there to support me in the 4 years that it's been since Lecleed started as just a little stub of road by T13 on like the first couple of days of Gamma. It's come a long way, and we couldn't have done it without you guys. So thank you so much.
Cool. So congrats to JPH and for his premiership of Lecleed. Actually, JP, ask me later if you want to add an icon on the Dyn map for your city.
Yeah,
Okay.
I can get you one.
And yep, that's about that. Okay, so that's the end of all the private portion announcements there. We're gonna move on to the open floor and Q&A. So considering the current situation in Twitch chat right now, usually I'd ask that you can ask questions or comments through Twitch chat, but it looks like I'm probably not going to be able to read that. So don't ask your question there. Instead, you can PM me either in game or ping me in the voice channel, text channel on Discord, and I will look at those two places. And just don't ask your whole question. Just say that you would like a turn, and I will call on you. Okay.
This is the biggest amount of
No,
views
I only have
I've ever
15
got.
viewers. It's still the same number of viewers. It's just a bunch of bots. So no, it might.
No, I see 6,519.
No,
No,
That's
that's not what
Yeah,
it
that's
is.
views,
just-
not
no.
viewers.
Yeah, I'm
no.
talking to
I only have like 17 viewers, so it's definitely no. It's just a bunch of chat bots. Okay, let me hold on and let me go get the note down. Who is? We should have a piece of paper. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna know. Okay, just keep in mind, guys, no silly questions for this time being. Please, only serious questions. Okay, I have 4 people so far, so let's go start off now. First up is Vulpicula. I believe you're not in... Oh, you are listening in Discord, but please post your question.
Sorry, my phone's a bit bad. Is this an outright ban of all gambling or just a ban of a formal organization?
I'm gonna say, just for simplicity's sake, yeah, no, we're not gonna allow any sort of gambling organizations for the time being on the server. I think they bring up too much of a headache. And again, this is different from the lottery plugin because the lottery plugin is automatic and doesn't have any form of human error that could possibly be involved in it. Whereas betting organizations or gambling organizations could introduce that. So
Will the animals chat, Discord chat, will that stick around, or is that classified as nearly dead?
sorry,
or
what
so?
would you say? What?
I remember you mentioning that the animals chat when you found it in Discord. That would be cold
Nope,
at some point.
that is not
I
correct. The
think.
animals channel will stick around for time.
Okay, so more flukes.
If it turns out that it's not being used very much, then it'll probably be removed. But honestly, there are other channels that are probably less used in animals at this point. Like, unfortunately, things like science, which is really sad that it's not being used very much. But yeah. Basically, what I'm saying is, if before animals is removed, probably other channels would be probably like science would probably be removed first. So. Okay, moving on. PTLD, what's your question? PTLD.
I'm guessing he's typing.
Yeah.
So are all so is it now banned to make an MPO? And I mean, do you need a GSM topic
No.
to create an MPO? And are MPOs allowed to be exclusive to, let's say, counselors and up to be a full member in an MPO, or would that be classified as illegal?
Okay, so first off, no, I never said anything about banning MPOs. You can form your own MPO. The only restriction is if mergers between existing MPOs, those would need approval from staff. As to your second question, to be honest, I've not really considered restrictions on like rank restrictions on MPOs. For the time being, since I have not actually said anything around that, I will say that that will be allowed for the time being. If it turns out that, because again, the point of this is to allow many MPOs to exist, and if players do not want, don't want to join one that's rank restricted, they can join other MPOs, so they don't feel left out of that. So yeah, for the time being, such rank restrictions would be allowed. If it turns into a problem later on, then we will change the rules accordingly. Okay. Does that answer your question, PTLD? Okay.
Yes, it does.
Moving on. Next up, Cody. Could you please repeat your question just for the people on stream and for everyone else? Again, when you ask to be called for Q&A, please don't post your whole question at the beginning because I'm not going to remember it. Is Cody in chat here? Cody does not.
He is in game.
What are the rules of annexation? Cody's question is, what are the rules of annexation? What do you mean by annexation?
You'll need to say that in the server chat. I don't believe he's in Discord.
He might be listening on stream though. I can't really. That's why I have the stream on. So that's the way he's gonna go here. Taking a town, city when abandoned. Yeah, Cody, we don't call that annexation, we call those auctions on this server. So what that means is if a city or town or even like a business or franchise, if the player has not been online for 3 months, then those will be subject to another player can go ask for ownership of those of that city or town, and then it'll be considered at the GSM. In most cases, staff won't approve them. The chances of them approving it will be higher if it's a really very inactive town, like say it's 6 months old or a year, and where the player has never come back for that time period. If it's only 3 months, then only in circumstances will we consider that, because usually sometimes players do come back. So yeah. Okay, I'm glad that answered your question. Next up is Cookie. Cookie, you're up. Cookie. Oh, I'm always typing.
Someone's typing.
Cookie's question is, reading from Discord, just a clarification, when talking about changes on the old world, what defines a minor change or a major one? So this is the problem we had during the discussion where we could not find consensus, but our definition of minor change, again, if you think in the context of airports, if you're changing airplane or changing like a check-in place or changing some signs, those would be considered a minor change. Anything larger than that would probably be cutting into toward disallowed territory. Like redoing a whole section of an airport or redoing a whole building, those would be considered major changes, and those will not be allowed. Okay, Cookie says cool, thanks. That's that. Vulpicula, I did get your, you got one more question. I'll get to you after this. So next up, I'm going to go, Mindbender has sent me a question. His question is, regarding MPOs, can they work with MRT staff if one of their members break their rules, or even punish members within the MPO for breaking MRT rules? If that sort of situation happens where a player has broken an MRT rule, that should be the MRT staff should be informed of that immediately. If the MPO itself wants to enact an additional punishment or from that, they are free to do so. But the important thing is MPOs are subject to all the MRT rules, and if the staff decide to punish that player, that is separate from any punishments that the MPO would do. So I guess to answer your question, yes, you should contact staff, and you can punish players within the MPO as you see fit. I hope that answers your question, Mindbender. If it doesn't, please ping me about it. Moving on, Vulpicula had another question.
There is a little peculiarity. When towns get destroyed, usually the wiki page is kept intact for historical reasons, right? Well,
I'm not an expert on the wiki. Is that usually what happens?
That's
I
generally
mean,
what we
generally, sometimes, yeah.
like Appleton, there was also Benyon as well. Every instance I've seen has it, but I was wondering if it'd be possible for me to just revert the town of Gato's wiki page from a redirect to the Avella airport to back to its old actual town, just for historical purposes.
We're not going to do that.
I mean,
That doesn't deserve to be preserved.
okay. Well, realistically, yes, you could, but the wiki page should try to be as accurate as possible. Therefore, it should say the former town, or it should say it's
Yeah, I would definitely be updating it to past tense and also adding a notification that the town no longer exists. There's the Avella airport that now stands there and all that.
That seems fine. Yeah.
Okay, I'll do that after the GSM then. That's all that.
Cool. All right, that is the end of my list for now. Are there any other serious questions or concerns or comments that people would like to bring up before we move on to sillier fare? Kitty, go ahead.
So earlier in response to Vulpicula's question, you said Vulpicula is asking if like gambling would be blanket banned, and in your answer you said gambling organizations would be blanket banned, but like would all gambling be banned, or would there be some instances on the server in which
let me clarify
gambling
that.
is
I
allowed?
think all member organized gambling would be banned. The only official
Okay.
gambling would be the lottery plugin at the moment. Because at this point, by introducing gambling and allowing members to basically organize themselves with those things, that just adds a whole can of worms. Like how are they oversight? Like, is there any oversight by staff? What do they have to look for? What is allowed or disallowed? And on consideration of LD's proposal, the staff did bring up a whole bunch of different issues with this, and that's ultimately we decided to just say no to all this.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other further serious, important questions, concerns? There's a lot. The Twitch chat is still going. I mean, people are still able to ask their questions in game or in Discord, so it's not really affecting us too much, to be honest.
I mean, but Twitch chat is where it's all at.
Well, I didn't really get much success with Twitch, so I'm not really a big fan of Twitch chat in general. Okay, it sounds like there's no more further serious questions or concerns. Fred has some silly questions now. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Yes. So Fred, what kind of silly questions do you have? LD, I don't think you should just bother banning people at this point. Just let them be.
But I'm enjoying it.
Okay, if you want to do that, then go for it. I'm not going to stop you.
I'm only banning the assholes.
Fred asks, would you like to join my secret underground gambling ring? No, Fred. That's a paddling. Oh, you're over there. Okay. The premium results have been released. The feedback document hasn't been released yet. So that'll be available shortly or by tomorrow at least. I'm not entirely sure who's going to do the GSM results because I don't know if Chief or Gods are available. So it might be quite a bit of a while until those results are available. Fred is asking, is organized crime illegal on the MRT? Yes, I would think so, because it's crime. You don't want crime is illegal. You're thinking of trying to become a mafia boss on this server? I think you need to go find some other server to do it on.
Fred Rail needs to diversify its
Fred asks,
operations.
would you like to join the Fred Rail MPO? No, thank you. Who is this? Oh. Okay, what's your question?
Everyone's been asking this question. So, what rank is Central City?
Central City is not ranked. It is a special zone for people to build whatever buildings in that area. The intention was to make it sort of like a park surrounded by skyscrapers when we initially designed Central City and Central Park.
It secretly counts though.
No, April Fool's doesn't count.
Yeah, but it does only allow councillors to build in there, though. Councillors and above. So
good. No one has to ask that question.
Oh, people will.
Again.
People will ask that question.
Instead of the demilitarized zone, we have the deranked zone.
Okay. Are those all the silly questions? This is somewhat.
No, I'm not done. I mean, I'm not done with
Oh,
nothing.
I see.
Okay. Frumple, what's your favorite brand of taco flavor?
Taco? Isn't there just one
Yes.
taco
Yeah,
flavor? There's just
random
the
taco
taco flavor. Duh.
Like the taco mix, you know, like
Oh,
Orida, the other
here in
the other
Canada we
brands.
have just the I think it's the blue brand that you get at the No Name, the superstore. Yeah, that brand. No, it's
that was
No
yellow.
Name is yellow, but they have a special more premium brand that's called Blue, I think. So, or Blue Signature, I think. Fred asks, could I be demoted to owner
It's called
plus?
Blue.
No.
Oof.
Let's see. Cookie asks, what's your order at Taco Bell? I haven't been to a Taco Bell in a long time. I don't think they create
Never been to Taco Bell.
quality tacos. Shadowborder asks, what is your
Have you never had a Doritos taco shell?
We're just gonna be kind Locos Tacos.
Shadowborder asks, what is your favorite brand of sunscreen? I don't know that I don't really have one, to be honest.
Wants to know how you lather yourself up in the summer.
Okay,
That's kind of what he's asking.
Creepy. All right.
All right, Frumple, I've got one. Would you mind clicking this link for the viewing audience on
No,
Twitch?
I will not click that link.
God, it's that one.
Vulpicula has 3 questions.
Are you aware that your hovercraft is full of
I
eels?
don't have a hovercraft.
My hovercraft
Probably you should
is
click
full of eels.
Probably you should click that link. It's actually something you should see.
And should the Spanish Inquisition ever unexpectedly show up into Central City, how do you plan to deal with that? You don't actually have a contingency plan for that, and that is actually why I'm no longer recognizing you as the owner, because you don't have a contingency plan for when the Spanish Inquisition shows up.
It's my
He doesn't have a way of dealing with the Spanish Inquisition.
server.
Hello.
So I just don't. How would even the Spanish Inquisition get on the server? That makes no sense.
For those
Nobody
not
expects
in-
it. They have their ways. Trust me, they have their ways.
For those not in the know, for those not in the know, Volpe is making a Monty Python
I see.
reference.
That's a
Me
bit.
too, actually.
I don't really. I'm familiar with Monty Python, but I'm not a humongous fan of it. So, yeah, I'm sorry. Like I'm afraid I'm just gonna have to answer these very serious. I'm gonna have to answer your guys' silly questions with serious answers. So that's what you're gonna get.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Robin is asking, can I have the rank memer? No.
I have a less than serious.
Okay.
It's ready.
Okay, Kitty. What is your less than
Ready.
serious question?
Have you ever known someone with anger issues?
Sorry, what was that? Sorry, repeat the question. Sorry.
Have you ever known someone
yes,
with
many
anger
people.
issues? All right, thank you.
That's an interesting. That's okay. That's an odd question.
What's your favorite city?
I
on
will
the
not
server?
answer that question because that could show favoritism.
You should have just said Central City.
What's your favorite person on the
I-
server?
Actually, let me re-answer that question. I don't have a favorite city and I don't have a favorite person. How about that?
Who's your favorite guest?
As I said, I
Oh,
don't have
that's
a
a
favorite
good-
person, so
Who's
guest
your-
would be a subset of persons.
How about-
So no.
How about
Who's your least favorite guest?
I don't have a least favorite guest.
Who's your favorite
I
band
don't listen to
person?
bands.
See, but yeah.
Frumple. Are nematodes people too?
What?
Big oof.
So, Crumple, are you aware that you've just lost the game?
Oh yeah, no, I'm
Oh,
quite
dang
aware
it.
I've lost the game, and that is a serious answer.
Thank you so much, Talon.
Propo, are you ready to
Well,
guess
there's a
what's
lot of
behind
bunch
you?
of still silly questions here. Let me see here. What is that? What is lighting asking me? Do you realize I don't know if they realize that that's actually on stream here. AP's asking, have you ever tried fish fingers and custard? No, I have not. Maybe we can do that in London. Oh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I think people do know. Actually, I'll just mention this. Yeah, the next GSM is actually quite close. It's actually on August 11th. And then there is a meetup where I'm going to go fly to London. I'm going to meet some of these silly people. And we'll see how that goes.
You should be terrified.
I'm half terrified, half excited because I can at least leave and go somewhere else.
Should
You'll
probably
be
clarify.
fine as long as Fred doesn't show up.
If you're in Europe and you're 18 or above, then you can still come to the meetup, but obviously you have to make your own way to London and stay there for the weekend, and you need the funding to do that. And we plan on going out and get absolutely smashed.
Yeah, they're gonna have some difficulty with that. They're gonna have some difficulty with that because
What if
They're gonna have
I
some-
live in America? Because like that's basically Europe.
If you want to fly to London,
okay,
you can.
I would like to.
All right, I'll call my mom and ask for money.
I would like
for
to
a plane
clarify
ticket.
that I
mean, some idiots
shut
flying all
up.
the way over
Shut
from
the f-
Vancouver,
okay.
so...
I would like to clarify that I don't drink alcohol regularly, or at all, really. So they're going to have some trouble, and that's going to be rather interesting.
I'm just going to force you.
Don't worry, they just have to slip a pill into your glass of water.
Yeah, I don't think that's
Vodka
gonna...
in the tacos.
This is all getting recorded on YouTube, guys. So I'm going to upload this. So, okay.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm doing it.
You can't
Yes, I
prove it
can,
in a
the
court
video.
of law.
Robin is
The
asking, will he
Secret
give the
Service of
space
the
world
world
some
are
more
going to show
space?
up to London.
No. To actually answer this seriously, I think the lab world's getting a bit full now. So I've always considered... Unfortunately, expanding that world, there isn't that much space available to do that. So we might have to consider maybe cleaning up the lab world at some point, but I didn't bring it up at this GSM. So once again, the August GSM is August 11th. That's less than 3 weeks away. So if you want to bring in it, put in any topics, I would strongly encourage you to do so. Otherwise, this GSM is going to be rather short. And the reason I'm saying this is the next GSM in September will likely be quite a while away, because I do know people are heading back to school and work and all that sort of stuff, probably at the beginning of September. That's always what usually happens. So if you have any topics you want to talk about, probably the August GSM is a good time to do it, because there's going to be the next one after is going to be quite a while away. Okay, if you want any information about the UK meetup, feel free to PM people like LD. He's actually giving some details in chat right now. I can also help you with that as well. So, yep. Oh, I'm getting some messages here. Let's see. Mojang Chan is asking, have you ever tried fried chicken with banana ketchup? Nope, I don't. That doesn't sound tasty at all. Cookie asks, best French fries? French fries, any French fries really.
Good.
Sesh is asking... Oh, I'm not going to ask that question because that's probably for something later. Talon has a real question. What is your real question, Talon? Your real important question. Shadow Border is asking a question. If Cody, there's not much of a queue. This is all silly questions at this point. Shadow is asking, if you could be any kind of triangle, which one would you be? I don't know. Triangles are triangles. Talon, for the MRT Golf Association, what did you approve? You said you would approve the amounts, but you would still need to approve the tournament itself. Yes, Talon, we're not going to give you a lump sum. You will still have to, for each event that happens, you will still have to gain approval for each of those. Oh, I see. an acute triangle or an obtuse triangle? I guess I'm an obtuse one then, because I didn't get the joke. Yeah, Talon, if you have one that's being hosted, you can send it. More than likely, we won't deny it, but we want to make sure that just as these events happen, we will just give you the money. We'll approve that money as it goes on. So we're just not comfortable with giving you a lump sum at this point.
I have
Yes,
a question.
what is your question?
So there's actually been a new blockbuster at the box office that all the critics are raving about, and I just want to get what's your take on the Fred Rail movie?
One of the worst movies I've ever seen. Incredibly repetitive
Good thing Fred's
content.
AFK.
Yeah.
And I am incredibly disappointed. I was expecting something more.
Oh, didn't he have a sequel?
Sorry, there's a
That sounds like a 5 out of 7
more of
review.
like a 0 out of a billion review, but Talon, what? Talon is
So
asking.
back to the
This is still a serious question here. Does this money cover the current tournament SCMPC? I believe you sent an email about that. Just give us the amounts for that specific tournament, and then we'll approve it. And then once the tournament is done, we will provide that those prize monies to you.
I have 3 questions. One of them is actually pretty serious. The clearance of the lab world. Here, go. Should I pause
Sorry,
it?
what is? Can you?
I have the serious question and 2 silly ones. With the clearance of the lab world, would that just be a selective clearance? That
No,
be
it
just
would not be a full
wipe?
At least, no, not a full wipe. The only time we'd probably consider a full wipe if there were lag issues, which we have experienced before on the lab world. They seem to have been resolved for the most part. I think it's mostly to do with hoppers, I believe. But no, it'd be a selective wipe, probably trying to target any abandoned labs or labs that belong to inactive players. Those would be removed first. Sorry, there seems to be some serious questions here, so Vilbika, can you just hold on to that? And I need to go talk to this guest as well. Cody, please ask your serious question while I deal with this guest here.
Serious typing.
Cody's asking, you talked about being sensitive to people with autism. Do you know if of any other syndromes or conditions that are prominent to MRT players that you have any tips to help with coping with interactions? That's actually a really good question. Autism is it's a spectrum. So there's also Asperger's syndrome, which I do believe there are several people on the server that fall under that. My position when dealing with people on the spectrum is everyone is subject to the same rules, regardless of whether you have autism or not. However, I do encourage people to try to be empathetic and try to understand that some people aren't as socially skilled as others, and they don't recognize social cues.
Like me.
Not just you, Mojang. There's a lot of other people too. And
I'm happy I'm not alone.
So that's basically whenever there have been many instances when people aren't understanding each other, and because one or both parties are on the spectrum, at that point myself or staff would pop in and try to make sure people understand that sometimes we miss these sort of social cues or miss these sort of things, and try to be understanding of that. However, it doesn't mean that we don't accept when people use it as an excuse to misbehave on the server. I can give actually very good examples of this. I always get a bunch of emails from people who've been rejected on the server from membership. When they get rejected, their parents love to email me specifically, telling that their child has autism, or they should be given special treatment, and forgiveness and that sort of stuff. And I tell them no, that's not how we operate. We don't give them special treatment in that fashion. So and in most cases the parent doesn't contact us ever again after that. But Cody is asking, sorry, let me rephrase, conditions not on the autistic spectrum. Oh, I see. That's a weird one. Oh yeah, depression is a big one. Actually, I've said this before. I personally suffer from depression, like right at this moment. There are others as well. I'm not going to mention names just as a matter of respect for people, but I'm pretty sure most of you can probably figure out who those people are. The one thing I will say about depression is it is very easily misunderstood. There is a huge stigma around it. A lot of people like to say that, oh, these people should just snap out of it, or just find hobbies, or just all those sort of things. And people need to realize that that is not helpful, and actually could be damaging to that person if you say those sort of things. Like just things like just be positive, or just go exercise, or those sort of things. And I've had to explain to some people who, when someone is having a depressive episode, I've had to explain to other MRT members that what they are saying is not helpful and not productive. And yeah. Cody's asking, are we allowed to help people with mental health issues if you have experience with it? Yeah. Actually, the one thing about depression, specifically about depression, is the best thing to help someone with depression is just to be there. Don't try to judge them. Don't even try to give them advice, honestly. Like, just be there and listen to what they have to say, and just be a place where just lend them their support.
Empathetic.
And yeah, if you feel like you're up for it, then go for it. Yeah. I personally have experience of the opposite, where people don't give them their support, and well, that's, I don't really deal with those sort of people anymore. So that's that. So yeah, this is taken. I actually do like this discussion. It's a lot better than the stupid, silly questions. But I think it's important to say this, considering that, yeah, no, we're all a bunch of different people, and yeah. Okay, Vulpicula, ask your 2 stupid questions. Give me your shitpost.
Of all the nothings which have never existed in the GSMs, which one has been your favorite?
Problem is with GSMs, I don't actually remember most of what goes on. They usually just fly by and you forget about them. I don't know if I mean,
let's see, you've got the pirate attack, the stock market crash of 2008, the year of the dog, the Titanic scene, the war scene, Pac-Man, and Frumple's emotional
what are you saying, Yoshi? What is that?
Those are all the ones that
Random
those are
bills.
all the previous nothings.
Okay. Oh, hi Lola boy, I need to talk to you about Pattern Park later on.
How long is this thing, by the way? Because I kind of have to go in.
Well, at this point, we're kind
minutes.
of, it's kind of, we're in this weird part where we're winding down, but there's actually, there's some, usually this is the silly part of the GSM, but there's actually some some serious stuff happening right now. Cody's continuing. What is your opinion on the misconception of anxiety and depression, as well as grouping all mental health problems under one condition? That's just the way society is. Unfortunately, and it's taken me a while to realize this. Mostly everyone will not have experience with these sort of mental health issues, or have never dealt with people with those issues. And Lala, your mic is turned on. So.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, they don't. Okay, Lala, I'm just gonna have to mute you right now. There we go. Okay.
No.
So, cause I'm pretty serious here. Yeah, no, that's just the way. That's the way people are. It's hard. It's sometimes hard to accept, but that is. Yeah, and everybody's depression or anxiety or their experiences of autism are going to be different. So, just because someone was able to deal with their depression doesn't mean it's going to apply to other people. So, yeah. Right. But, yeah, no, I think it's sad. That's the way it is. I need to explain to this PP1859 person, because he's had a bunch of rejected member applications. I don't know. Okay, are there any other questions? I think we're winding down. We need to get to the 20 questions part soon.
Nothing.
I've been submitting questions to try and buy Yoshi some more time. So.
No, it's been done.
Okay.
It's been done for a while.
Wait, what do you mean there? There's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing there.
It takes a lot of
The
effort.
nothing is done.
One time Yoshi should actually put nothing there. Just leave it empty.
I suggested that earlier. It'd be great.
Sorry. There's a bunch of questions in here I've missed. Mojang, when will City Rank candidate promotion badges wiki page be updated? Again, the results of that will be available as soon as we can get to them. Kitties, yeah. Talon's asking, how will what show up? How? Oh, titles? No.
Titles.
So they're not meant to show up in game. These specializations are probably just gonna, I'll probably add them to the staff list page on the website, but that's probably the only place that they're going to be. Again, the point of these is to indicate that these staff have additional responsibilities, and to ensure that if I receive another complaint about players with these specializations or add mods with these specializations, I'm going to point to these things and say, well, I think you're expecting too much out of them. So Shadowboard is asking, can you switch the font on all Google Forms to this font? Chief is responding and says no, that's a Google setting, it's not up to us. So unfortunately, I guess that is the answer. Cody's asking, what are land scars? Land scars are when you ask for wool in it and you cut into existing land where you just leave a sort of big hole in the ground or a big wall. They're quite common in a lot of cities where people forget to develop those areas, and they look very unsightly on cities, and we actually count them negatively when we review your city for like mayor or senator or governor. And Cody, I'm not going to PM you your member app right now because I'm quite busy, and I do want to bring this GSM to a close. This has been a very long GSM, actually.
5 hours.
Now I have to move boxes all 5 hours.
Okay, are we playing 20 questions?
What are your thoughts on tardigrades?
Sorry, what?
What are your thoughts on tardigrades?
What?
Tardigrades.
I know what
You
those
know,
are.
water
I
bears.
don't care about them.
Oh, I'm sad now.
Too bad.
I have a question in the voice channel chat.
When Jengs asks, Frumple, is it a rarity to see a town running for city badge have no land scars? No, it's, we've seen some cities that do have very, very little land scarring. It's just that when we do see it, it pops out to us very badly. It's like a sore thumb. It sticks out like a sore thumb.
It's like one big wall.
Sometimes it's one big wall. Sometimes it's all over the place. Like a lot of places where they're like, especially toward maybe the outside parts of the city where they're still building stuff. You can see a lot of scarring there where they haven't cleaned that up yet.
Oh, I see.
Okay. Are we playing 20 questions then? Okay.
Yeah, let's play 20
Do
questions.
I have any hints? Why?
No.
Give me hints.
Oh, listen, you'll get this one. You'll get this one.
Okay. I'm not let's see. Is it related to the MRT?
No. Well, okay, no. The answer is no.
Okay. That's a weird answer. Is it a person?
Depends how you define a person.
Define
What the fuck is
person.
that? What do you mean by that? That's like the most basic question, and oh my god.
Define person.
Okay, according to Google, a person is defined as a human being regarded as an individual. The answer is no.
So it is not a human being.
Yeah, according
That's
to
the question.
It is not
it's
okay.
not a
Okay,
person.
based on the definition, sure. All right, it's not a human being. Is it an animal?
You could say so. It's like it is, but it's like not in your when you think of what an animal is. This is not what the first thing you think of.
Wait a minute. I think I might know what it is already.
Oh,
I don't know if I want to waste a question on it. Let me see. No, I don't want to ask that.
Also, actually, yeah, was a person at one point.
Okay. How can I ask this properly? Okay, let's just ask this right. Fuck, let's screw it. All right. Is it a furry? It's not a furry.
No.
Okay.
Nope.
That actually that eliminates that guess then. Because I thought it was going to be that picture that Cortese posted into Discord of the guy in the fursuit.
Oh, no.
Animals?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So I'm still confused. It's not a human being, and it is an animal. You said, or is not an animal?
It's animal, I guess, but not really in a traditional sense. I'm not sure.
What? What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Can we get
Yeah,
the
get the inf-
definition of animal?
According to Google, I don't think it's an animal.
It's not an animal that exists.
According to Google, it's not an animal.
Okay, is it fictional then? That's my fifth question. So it's fictional.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. It is fiction.
Is it a cartoon?
Yes.
Yes.
Cartoon. A cartoon. Okay, this might be a weird question. No, I can't really. You can't answer that with yes or no. Well, I guess you can. Is this a recent cartoon character? Like in the last, let's say, in the last
20,
let's say the last 10 years,
last
actually.
20 years.
10 years.
10 years? Let me check. No. Oh, well, okay. Yes.
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 10
Technically,
years.
yes.
What?
It wasn't created in the last
Yes.
10 years.
Yes, but it was relevant. It is technically still relevant in the last 10 years.
And only barely within the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it a happy character? I don't know.
I mean, in this version, yes. They look
It depends.
Happy. They look pretty happy, I guess.
Like with any person, it depends.
Yeah.
The way it's looking at me still scares me.
I thought I was getting. I thought I had a breakthrough with the cartoon thing, but now I'm just confused because I don't know how to categorize cartoons.
I think it's fair to say that traditionally this character is not known as a happy character.
Yes. Yes.
That just confuses me even more. Is it? I'm not sure if you're supposed to be answering the questions like that, I don't think, because it's all.
Don't give too much away.
What the hell is it? Is it? Is it from Western animation? Okay.
Yes.
Break it down a bit.
Use of unauthorized weaponry at the GSM is prohibited.
Is it? Is it a male? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you suggesting there's authorized weaponry at a GSM, Kitty?
If you're a Secret Service agent.
Certified by who?
Does this character wield a weapon?
Not traditionally.
Biological ones, yes.
I think so. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you can find an instance, but no.
I mean,
But that's the way you think about them. No, that's not what they're known for. They're not known for.
Has this character been on a TV show?
It has.
Would it be surprised?
Yes, they have been on a TV show.
Are they the main character of this TV show?
Yes.
Yes, but I'll say they're not known for this TV show.
Known for this?
Yeah.
Not known for TV show. That's not what they're known
No,
for.
they are the TV series. They are not the main character.
Wait, what?
Have they ever been in a
I guess
movie?
they are. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I hate this game. This is a stupid game.
Yoshi enjoys your pain.
I'm glad you're all entertained. So it's in a movie, but it's also in a TV show, but not the main character in a TV show.
Yeah, but it's the main character in the movie. I'll tell
It's
you
the main
that
character in the
movies are what they're
movie.
known for.
Yeah, I would say if you want to get this, don't think about TV shows.
Yeah, don't think about TV shows. Go for the
Yeah.
movies.
Have they? Is it a comic book character at all? No.
No.
Being in a comic, but
No.
don't ask me how I know that. But yeah, it's not known for that.
In a movie? I don't know any recent movies I have. Oh,
Okay.
is
Yeah,
it
like
a
Elsie
is it
said,
a
it's
Disney
not like
character?
No.
No.
It is somewhat related to
It's
this.
related though, but no.
You just offended whoever made it, probably.
No, well, I can say it afterwards.
That doesn't make any sense. Like, what?
It's not Disney. That's all you need to know.
Yeah,
That
definitely
makes it
not
way more
Disney.
difficult because Disney owns everything nowadays in terms of.
Well, then
What don't they own?
don't own.
There's something they don't own.
Western companies that produce.
Actually,
fictional
many things
movies.
they don't own.
If they don't own it, they're probably not familiar with it, to be honest.
No, you definitely.
You're definitely
Probably seen it.
with it.
What? I don't.
Fred's probably done something with it.
Oh, is that
probably.
That's a very big
No
hint.
hints, please.
That's a very big hint, isn't it?
Please stop
No.
with the hints.
There wasn't any. What?
Is it a train? No.
No.
There was nothing to do with Fred. Someone just said
Are you trying
that.
to lead me off somewhere?
I don't know why they said that, but that's clearly not correct. Can we refund that question? That was
I did
That
ask it.
wasn't
I
a
did
question.
ask it,
Someone
so.
said that.
Is it a train?
Wait, what was the question? The trains?
Okay.
Oh no, sorry.
I kind of want to refund that
No,
one.
don't
So-
worry. I don't care about
Still
getting
could get
this
it.
at this point. Rather,
If Frumple loses 20 questions, we should at least see how he does at 40 questions.
Yeah, 40 questions.
3 more questions to go.
is
For at least 400, so he'll get it for sure.
cartoon character. It's not owned by Disney. What?
Notable for film,
Yeah, no, it's no rule for films.
not a human.
Yeah, that's what you know so far.
Is it American?
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Well, wait.
Well, no. Oh, wait. Are you talking about the film
The
company or are you talking
character.
about the character?
No.
Character, no.
I don't think the character knows about America.
Also,
I think this.
we should also specify
Can we
cartoon,
see
by
the
the way.
character's accent?
No.
No, yeah,
No.
We should also specify that the when we say cartoon, animation also does count.
Oh, yeah.
We should
Animation and cartoon are
To be really honest,
the same
I am
thing.
totally
Yeah, so
confused at this point. I don't know what this is. I'm just gonna.
I would say try to peg the what the movie's about.
You should give him a hint. Preferably
Hints.
not
So how does
from me, because I give shit.
No capes.
Brad, stop giving hints.
What?
What? Hold on. I'm gonna cheat. No, I'm gonna cheat.
No
I'm gonna
cheating.
cheat. Let's
No.
see.
You cheat, you forfeit.
No.
Kidding.
Do it and I set Central City on fire.
Animation films not
Cheat,
owned by.
after you go through the 20 questions.
Oh, fuck, this isn't answering. I don't know. Can I
That's it,
concede at this point? I don't.
Literally have 2 questions left.
Yeah, just take a guess. Maybe
There's no surrendering.
Is the character based on fairy tale?
Wisely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No, I think it's
Yes.
original.
The answer is yes.
Really? That's from a
Yes.
fairy tale?
Yeah.
You want
You
it?
sure?
The entire franchise is based on fairy tales.
But the character itself isn't based on a fairy tale.
According to Google, it's based off of a cartoon from the 1990s.
But that's
Wait,
not
what?
fairy tale.
But I will say
No.
the franchise is about here. We'll just say the franchise is about fairy tales, but no, the character's
Okay,
not based on.
here's
the
my
actual
final
fairy tale.
question. Am I a stupid person?
No.
Stupid
Well,
is a
I
subjective
think I
term.
am, 'cause I-
Take a guess.
He's running a server with Oz on it. Of course he's not.
Can I turn around?
Random guess.
Gotta
What
have
is
some
it?
problem.
Take a random guess. Just guess a random thing. Then we'll let you know.
I'm guessing.
I have seriously no idea. Like, honestly.
Guess any. Name a cartoon character.
Scooby-Doo, I don't know.
Okay, go ahead, turn around. Let's see what you got to write.
I mean, that could be
it's
Scooby Doo.
that guy. Okay,
Oh yes.
That guy.
I see.
Shrek.
Yeah.
Shrek is the answer you're looking
That is
for.
definitely
So we
Shrek.
should just start singing All Star after the
I see.
19th question.
This is actually surprisingly good Shrek. Wow.
Okay, please remove the pixel art from the server. That is against
You
the
should
rules.
feel bad for being able to do this.
He gets a warning.
Can we turn it into a mural?
I don't remember.
Let's just leave it there.
I did
for
watch
adults
the
to clean
Shrek
up or
movies, but I
whatever.
never remembered them, so it wasn't. They weren't memorable.
Oh yeah, same.
So
Sorry for
okay,
not
I want to end the
GSM,
GSM. So once again, the August GSM is actually very close by. It's in 3 weeks on August 11th. If you want to get your topics in, you should probably get it in for the August one because the next one in September will probably be quite a while away. So yeah, that is all I have to say. So goodbye, and thanks for attending.
Where the hell did you come up with the idea for this of all freaking things?
Yeah. Also, the GSM results might be a bit late because I don't know if Chief or Gods will be able to do it. So
Could someone give me an abbreviation because I wasn't there because there was a wasp in my
Alright.
home?
Goodbye, everyone.
Wasp.
Right, who wants
What?
to do post GSM PvP PA12?